Hi, I'm Jim Knotts, President and CEO of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Fund. Welcome to today's virtual reading of the names. 2022 marks the 40th anniversary of the dedication of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Washington, D.C. As part of our commemoration, we'll host an in-person reading of the names at the wall from November 7th through 10th, 2022, when all 58,281 names on the wall will be read aloud. In the lead up to that event, we'll be reading names each day online while sharing the photos of these heroes. For our daily virtual reading, the names of the service members will be read by month and day of death between the years 1956 and 1975 in alphabetical order for the given day. We apologize in advance for any mispronunciations. Know that our readers are doing their best to honor these service members. We hope you'll listen and watch each day and share with others as we remember and honor those who gave their lives during the Vietnam War.
Donnie Dwayne Asbury, Tony John Ayala, Frank Joseph Beltran, Kenneth Allen Beruba, Robert Louis Bouchette, James Dennis Bradle, David Charles Brostrom, Kenneth Eugene Birch, Howard Frank Burns, John Andrew Cardot, Aubrey Cawley, William Gary Chandler, Billie Jean Chapman, Edward Aubrey Coffey, Charles Ricky Cope, Johnny Jacob Cureton Jr., Kinsey Arthur Davis, William Louis DeBow, Lawrence Kent Dowd, Larry Ray Driscoll, John Joseph Flood Jr., Carl Richard Foster, David Michael Freeman, Gary Francis Gotti, Peter Joseph Gauvin, Clyde Glenn Gentle, Robert James Gillespie Jr., Henry Bryan Grammer, Alan Darrell Harvey, James Harold Hilliard, Robert William Hawk, Jimmy Leon Hockaday, Bernard Lee Holznicht, Romy Earl Hewart Jr., Kenneth Richard Hughes, John Kendrick Hutton Jr., William Edward Irwin, William Arthur Joy, Terence Frederick Kane, Edward Lee Cantor, Randall Frank Kaiser, James Joseph Kester, Randolph Lewis Larson, Michael Howard Lawhen, Kenneth Markham, Tomas Marroquin Jr., Patrick T. Matthews, Randall Lee McIntosh, Lucian Joseph Migliora, John Calvin Miles, Herman A. Miller II, Albert Moore Jr., Richard Lucian Morse, Thomas Dennis Nadeau, Lavelle Millard Nobles, Jerry Phillips, Robert James Pierce, Marcos Pizarro Colon, Gary Glenn Poole, Thomas Lamar Porter, Stephen Robert Prince, Roy Vernon Rollin, Walter Lee Redding, Richard James Reagan,
Donald Loy Richardson, Ronald Robbins, John Frederick Rodenberg, Dean Francis Rogers, John Kenneth Schmidt Jr., Alan Robert Schultz, Larry Lee Shaw, Stanley John Sheminsky, John Charles Sims Jr., Bradley Lewis Senn, Sam Gerald Small Jr., John David Smith, Ronnie M. Snyder, Herbert D. Stark, James Conley Stoner, Donald Lee Stonecipher, Charles E. Teague, John Apollo Tesaro, Mark Joseph Toshchik, Laurencio Vigil, Tommy Watson, Stephen Lee Weiss, Roy Mitchell Wheat, Theodore G. White, Jr., Franklin D. Williams, John Charles Williams, Robert Williams, Jr., Michael Richard Wilson, James Robert Woods, James Wright, Joseph Stanley Yancey, Donnie Winfield Young, Daniel Moran Zuniga,